but haven't had so much as a cold, so I keep going out.
And that was a good practice because I just clicked record just now and started recording. Welcome back to Nintendo Academy. I am Mike Perez, and today we have a special guest on the channel. Today's guest has been the voice of Bowser for the past 18 years, and we have the pleasure and honor of interviewing the one and only, the great Kenny James.
Howdy ho! I'm back again.
Again. Yeah, so how have you been?
Yeah, no, everything is good, man. Been doing lots of conventions the last during this last year. I don't even remember how many there were. I have a big whiteboard in my studio.
Yeah.
And it was just loaded with stuff. And I was just lining them, out as they go. Yeah. And I have one next weekend, but it's local. I can drive to it. And then I think the next thing I have scheduled after that is I want to say it's SSundee in Sacramento. Okay. So that's a big show.
That is awesome. And then so out of all these conventions, which one has been like your favorite, or tell us about something interesting that happened to you in one of these conventions you've been to?
Oh, everything is interesting at those things because you never know what's going to happen.
Right?
You never know who you're going to run into, who you're going to be sitting with. Mm-hmm. This last show I was at, Tim Reed was sitting 2 tables over.
Oh wow!
As soon as he walked by, I was all like, I got the WKRP song stuck in my head. so I walked over. I said, "Hey," we shook hands and stuff. And I said, "Well, thanks to you, now I have the WKRP theme stuck in my head."
Oh man!
So I loved that show. I still love that show.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, you never know what cosplay you're going to see. I mean, some are repeat a lot, but you see some stuff that people spent so much time and effort on that it just blows you away. You're just all like, what?
Man, I bet. I mean, I've seen like Iron Man costumes that they do everything but fly.
Yeah, so
people do. They put so much effort into this, and that's awesome.
Some of the detail that's required for the 501st, the Star Wars guys, that's insane. Those guys' stuff that's screen ready stuff.
Yeah.
They walk by and you're just all like, oh man, like that's right out of a movie.
Well, I gotta be honest. My first convention was just recently, and it was a virtual one. So I've never.
Oh, really?
I've never been in person to an actual convention, and I'm hoping to be able to go to one soon after when everything gets back to normal. So yeah.
So next year should be even better because we're in another. The curve is going down again.
Yeah, but that's awesome. That's awesome. So I have some questions for you chosen by our subscribers.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, and I went over all the questions, making sure they're good. They're good. No out of left field questions. And then after that, we have a little game that we invented here on the channel together with our subscribers as well. It basically is we're memeing Bowser today. We're gonna see what Kenny James, the voice of Bowser, can caption for these images of Bowser. Some of them are screenshots from games, and some of them are like art that you guys have made completely and set over here. So let's see how Kenny James does. I know that Samantha Kelly last time she did pretty good. Let's see how Kenny James right?
Yeah, Sammy's pretty quick, but
yeah.
I don't know, man. That's improv. I never went to an improv class. So.
Oh, well, let's see what you got now, right? Let's go ahead and get
disaster. Are we doing questions or memes first?
We're gonna do questions first, and then we'll go to the memes. Yeah, that way you get time to prepare. All right, so let's go ahead and get to these questions here. All right, let me get here to that. All right, so we have here a question from Max Bem, and I'm pretty sure you've seen this question hundreds of times.
I've heard this question before.
Right.
Yeah, so the answer, okay, well, you want to read the question or you want me to read it?
You can go ahead and read it. Yeah, go ahead.
What's the story of how you got the voice of Bowser? Yeah, no, it was it's a right place at the right time kind of a story. I had been looking into doing voiceover for a little while and had built a website. And this is back when cable internet was just getting going. You know, we were getting off of the dial-up. And you know, you could download a song in like 7 minutes.
Right, man.
Yeah, that was fast. It was fast. So anyway, I built this little website, Coffee Cup 9, and I then went and took a voiceover class at the University of Washington experimental campus. And it was taught by a guy that was a commercial actor, and he also did demo productions. So I did good in the class and had him produce a demo. And so I had that demo in hand. And I was working my regular job. I used to work for Suburban Propane. I was a service tech for 13 years. And well, I also drove the bobtails also, but mostly service tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to sell propane and propane accessories, I'll tell you what. But we were doing our regular job, and the customer's house that we were at, I was talking about doing these little voice things for this guy in Canada. And she said, "You do voice work?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Do you have a demo?" That's one of the first things a producer's going to say. "Do you have a demo?"
Yeah, yeah.
I said, "Yes, I do." And I wrote down my little web address on one of my cards, and I gave it to her, and she listened to it. Her 14-year-old son listened to it. And they thought it was worthy. So it turns out she was a part-time producer at Bad Animals, which is a studio downtown Seattle, where Nintendo was recording. And she sent my demo over there. The production manager started sending me auditions. I was auditioning for some other video games and stuff. I didn't get anything. I was like, meh. And the Bowser, they decided to recast Bowser. And they sent me that audition, and I don't know, I sent it and then just said, well, that's just like the rest of them. You send it, forget about it.
Right.
And a couple weeks later, I got a very short email from the production manager that said, "You got this job." And I was all like, what?
That is awesome.
So yeah, and then I started recording, and 18 years later, I'm still piling up credits.
That's an amazing story. That is an amazing story. A perseverance, at the beginning.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's just, lightning got to hit somewhere.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It hit, it hit me. So.
That is awesome. And can you show us, or do you remember some of those voices that you made in that demo tape that you had?
Oh man, actually, part of it. I think I still have a website up, but yeah, I mean, my demo. I gotta get new demos done.
Yeah.
But my old character demo, demo is actually bits and pieces from going to a friend of mine has a studio where I used to live in Washington.
Yeah,
and I went over there, and he did a class, and he was keeping me going, and I did some stuff for him. Like there was a Geico commercial that I did, as an exercise, and he recorded it and put it all together.
Yeah.
Well, while we were recording it though, I was like, this would be hilarious if I did it at Dudley Moore's Arthur. And so I read the entire script in one take, and at the end it gave a good Arthur laugh. And so there's bits and pieces from 2001 to stuff that I did just a few years ago. It's horrible, but
I mean, that's good. I mean, you do have a very good Hank Hill right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
that just fits right in my wheelhouse. Tell you what.
Yeah, it's very good. Very good.
Yeah. No.
That's Beavis and Butthead?
Yeah. Shut up, Davis. Because it's the same guy, Mike Judge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's awesome. Let's see here. That is super cool. And we have a whole bunch of our subscribers who love voice acting. They want to get into that as well. So you guys
You have to be persistent. Have a demo. You have to have a demo ready.
Yeah, you should, because if you're asking for work or somebody asks you about it, they're going to want a demo.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. We have Ramster 2993 and our Ayrton Vienna. The reason why we have two questions here is because they're basically the same question. It says, "What was your favorite game to voice in as Bowser?"
You know, I really liked the session for Odyssey. It was fun, and that's a big game, you know. I mean, but I always tend to go back to 3D World.
Yeah.
Because of Meowser, the cat power up.
Yes.
And the story behind that, and it may actually answer another question eventually. It seems like it always does.
Yeah.
The reason I'm so fond of it was because we're recording. I turned the page on the script, and in little quotation marks, it said Meowser. And I laughed because I thought that sounded hilarious.
Right.
And I said, "What is it?" And they said, "Well, it's a power up." And they described it, you know, his ears and whiskers and a tail and. And I was like, "What do you want him to sound like?" And they went, "We don't know." And I was like, "Okie dokie." So I said, "Give me a minute to think about it." And I stood there for a couple of minutes, and I was like, "Well, he can't be kitty cat."
Yeah.
So I went, I can't do as big as, say, a panther or a puma or a tiger or anything like that. So I thought, what about a bobcat? That's a big cat.
Yeah.
So that's more of a wow.
Yeah.
Well, so I started thinking, okay, meow, wow. But then I have to roll Bowser on top of it. So, if you go, wow.
There you go. Wow.
And you get that gurgle at, and I did that for about 2.5 hours.
Wow.
I want to say, not sure exactly, but it was a long time, and I could taste blood when I was finished with that. And you know, they're always asking me, "You want to take a break?" I'm like, "No, let's just get it over with," because I'm afraid if I stop, everything will puff up and I won't be able to do it.
Yeah.
And another reason why it's one of my favorite things is that the next recording session, I had a follow-up session a few days later. The really weird thing was I tore my voice up.
Oh, man.
And a couple of days after that, I think that session was on a Wednesday. And Friday night, I was involved in a community theater production of Evita.
Oh,
and so I had to sing.
That is crazy.
I got through it. And then I go back on, I think it was Monday or Tuesday the following week for this follow-up session on the same, you know, game. And I walked into the control room and I said, right off the bat, I said, "What about the Meowser stuff?" Because everything I do gets approved by Japan.
Yeah.
And I'm global Bowser. So
yeah.
So they said, "We're translating an email. It probably has something to do with it." So, well, okay. So I sat there for 10 minutes going, and somebody came in and said, "All right, they loved all that stuff, so we can move on." I was like, yeah, because two reasons. I was like, all right. Firstly, I didn't think I had the voice for it to be able to pull it off without resting more. And the second thing was that I had no idea what I would change.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad it got approved.
Well, that's good. That's awesome. So basically, the voice of Meowser is actually your own personal baby, your own personal creation.
Yeah, because they put me right on the spot. I mean, that's what voice actors do. I mean, I do a lot of anime now, and you listen to the Japanese actor and you go, all right, well, it gives me an idea.
Yeah.
Of what, but you still got to you got to do it yourself. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And
if the director doesn't like it, they'll tell you. It's all like, no, don't do it like that.
Have you ever had anything like that? You have to redo something?
I haven't had to redo anything for Bowser, really.
Okay.
I mean, while you're recording, you know, they might go, make it a little less, you know, this, or do it again, but drier.
Yeah.
Do it again, but wetter.
Okay.
You know, do it longer. You know, that kind of direction. That happens all the time.
I see.
But I'm like, do it again, but drier. You know.
So you have to like make your voice drier and then kind of.
Well, you know, people ask me about that with dry Bowser. They were like, "What was the difference?" And I said, "Well, they said pretty much do what you usually do, but drier, make it sound drier." And so I just open up more in here. So instead of "ooh," it's more of a "oh."
Oh, okay.
You let more air. You know?
Yeah. And then there's a difference. You can actually, yeah. That's awesome. That is awesome. All right, we have another.
I don't even know how I do that. I'm in my rocking recliner, so if I'm moving around, it's like, whoa. Sorry.
No worries. We got here Alyssa H. She is asking, is there a video game that you would love to have Bowser do a crossover with? Really good question.
Oh man, what would he fit in? You know, I mean, that would be a weird crossover.
I mean, Bowser's a really good character. I think he's a universal character, and I really can't think of any crossovers with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. It's a really bizarre question.
Is he in Smash already? I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so he's in Smash.
Yeah, only I will. You know, most of the fans know this already, but I don't voice Smash.
Okay.
That producer uses animal sounds.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I've had people come to my table and they're like, "How come in Smash you don't you sound more like Godzilla?" And I go, "Because it's not me." You know.
It's like an animal they use.
Yeah, I think they use a combination of animal sounds, but that producer likes it that way, and he's been doing it since, you know, the beginning of Smash Brothers. So
yeah.
I don't have any say in it. I mean, there's a lot of fans that are all like, "I think it would be better if it was you," and I'm all like, "Well, thanks. So do I."
Yeah, sure, of course.
And actually, on YouTube, you can look up videos where people have replaced the stock sounds with voices that they pulled off of other games, you know. And it does sound kind of cool. But
yeah. I mean,
anyway, for a crossover though, I can't even imagine. Maybe throwing him into some kind of alien battle situation,
right?
You know, I mean, where maybe he could use his shell as a shield. Somebody fires at him, he just turns around. But then he would have to run at him.
Right?
Because, you know, he doesn't really... Well, I don't know. He can shoot fire, so...
Yeah. I mean, that's true. Or put him in one of these other fighting games that you can actually get...
Put him in Halo. He can be with the swarm or whatever.
Yeah. Can you imagine get to the end of Halo and all of a sudden find Bowser sitting on the throne?
Yeah. And, you know, and it's funny because I just did a convention a couple of few weeks ago with Steve Downs, who was, you know, Master Chief. So he's a swell guy. Now I'm going to have to remember to say that. It's like, I got asked this question and I thought, hey, what about if he was in Halo?
Right?
Right on.
That'd be hilarious. That would be hilarious. All right, next question here. What is Is this question number 3, right? No, 3?
I think this is 4.
Okay. All right. So we have here. Let's go ahead here. All right. So this question comes from B Ben. I was gonna say BN. What was the inspiration for Bowser's voice? Was it based on earlier voices and effects, or other characters or people?
That's a really great question. The audition that I got when they recast, the actual audition material that they sent was the lines from Super Mario Sunshine. And Scott Burns, who was the voice actor before me, they sent me his tracks. They did not request a voice match, but I did my best Scott Burns impersonation because I thought that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
So I started off like Super Mario Sunshine sounding Bowser. You know, Mario, how dare you disrupt my family vacation?
Yeah,
And you know, that kind of thing. And then once I got in and started recording, I found out they weren't going to really let me talk. So I went, all right, I need to dehumanize him. And then it turned out that I've always had this grumbly low end.
Yeah.
So as I progressed, it went from to and that's where it is now. It's and you know, of course, they still tweak it a bit, and you know, there's magic dust and all that jazz, and they make him sound a little heavier.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fairly heavy, but I ain't that heavy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I just kept working on it, and I can remember in the first, I don't know, it might have been the second or third recording session that I did. I said to the director, producer guy, I was like, "You guys know I can speak English, right?" Because I wasn't saying anything.
Yeah.
And then what was it? Bowser's Inside Story. I said Nintendo and Showtime, and other than that, I think the only other words I've said is Mario and Peach.
Okay.
And I always say them too clear. I'll go Mario, and they go, no, that's. And I'll go, okay, Mario, and they're like, that's better.
Yeah, it's not like more animal kind of learning how to talk.
Most of the time, it's Bowserese, you know. It's
yeah. Yeah, you can kind of understand what he's saying, but still kind of yeah.
That's why they have a speech bubble.
Yeah.
They have the text, you know.
Yeah.
It'll be a paragraph of text, and I go. So.
That's good. All right, see here. I think we have the last question, or I lost count.
I thought that was 4.
Okay, let's see here. And yeah, that is 4. This is 5. What's your opinion of Bowsette? Do you know about Bowsette? And they have 2 questions here. What do you enjoy most about voicing Bowser?
Okay, well, the first part, I don't really discuss Bowsette. When I first started doing conventions, I had never even heard of it.
Yeah.
And you know, and people were coming up to the table with Bowsette fan art and all this stuff, and I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Right.
And then there used to be, you go to conventions a couple of years ago, there would be Bowsettes walking around.
Oh wow!
You know, and you'd be all like, "What?" But it's not canon. Not even in the slightest. So much so that if you look it up on the internet, Nintendo made a written statement about it.
Yeah.
That it doesn't exist. It could not exist because Miyamoto wrote it so that only Peach and Toadette are able to use the Super Crown. So it's impossible for Bowser to transform. So addressing it at conventions, I don't get questioned about it much anymore. But when I did, they'd be like, "How do you feel about Bowsette?" And I'd go, "I don't feel about Bowsette." "What do you think about Bowsette?" "I don't think about Bowsette."
Yeah.
So that's about enough about Bowsette.
Yeah. So that character doesn't really exist.
No, it doesn't. It's not canon at all.
Yeah, I mean, I Googled when I saw this question. I had to Google search it myself because I've never heard about it.
Oh, really? Yeah. And it's died down a lot.
Yeah,
it was kind of a fad for a couple of years. The second part, let's see. What do you enjoy most about voicing Bowser? That's like really tiny because I'm using my phone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that it's really cool to be just pretty much a villain all the time. He has had a couple emotional breaks. I remember really early on, I think it was my second recording session. I did Galaxy and Mario Kart Wii in the same session. And at the end of Galaxy, when everything's on fire and he's all broken, and he just looks like he's so sad. You know, I mean, he's facing up at the sky, and he's got his arms up, and he's all. He was sad.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I get to do something like that, but my opinion about villains in general is that I think that they're easier because you don't have to worry about emotions that much. You're always mad.
Yeah, right.
So that's one of the things that I like about it. Plus, I get to use that. It's done weird things to my voice.
Yeah, I bet.
I can sing baritone, bass baritone, better than I used to be able to. I'm actually probably considered a lyric tenor. I can sing at least easily probably baritone, and depending on how loose my voice is, I could sing some pretty good bass.
Yeah.
But I can also get up in the tenor range.
That's awesome.
I've not too long ago. I mean, I'd go to auditions for a musical and wind up hitting a high C briefly during the auditions. So, because they run you in scales.
Yeah.
And you just keep going and going and going until they sound, you sound like you're gonna die. And I asked one time, I said, "How high did I get?" He goes, "You went to a high C." And I was like, "Cool."
That's crazy.
But I can't sustain it, especially not at 58, and I really don't sing that much anymore. But anyway,
Well, you care to give us a sample of
No. I don't sing enough to be singing anymore.
Samantha put you on the spot. She put you on the spot. She's like, you know what? Ask him to sing.
I know, yeah. I wouldn't even know what would I sing. It's I don't know. I've done so many musicals. It's like nothing jumps out.
Yeah. What kind of musicals have you been in?
Oh man, when I didn't start acting, voice acting or theater until I was 40.
Oh wow.
And the first show that I did was Man of La Mancha. And I really wish I had been, Cervantes. Then I could go here. I don't know, this might be too loud. Hear me now, O thou bleak and unbearable world, thou art base and debauched as can be. But anyway.
Wow, that's awesome. Awesome.
But my second show, I played the lead in Carousel. I was in Evita. I was in Hunchback of Notre Dame. I was in, what other musicals was I in? I don't know. I've done a bunch. It's probably 50-50 between straight work and musicals. I really like doing musicals unless they make me dance. I don't like dancing.
Yeah.
I always feel like a dork.
Man. But Disney, if you're watching, you got to hire this man. He needs to be in an animated movie. I can show you the world. There you go.
Shining, shimmering, splendid. Yeah.
I think you could have been a really good Gaston in the movie.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
That's awesome. I think that was the last question from our subscribers. Let me ask you some follow-up questions, maybe one or two.
All right.
Super Nintendo World. I have to bring that up because Super Nintendo World is almost opening in California, opening in Japan already, and opening here next door to me in Orlando, which I'm super excited about. Have you been there, by the way? Not yet.
Nope. No, we were all hoping that they'd have us out, to open it. That would have been super sweet. Just have the three of us. I'm watching myself. I'm like, oh, I went the wrong way. The Holy Trinity, as I always call it. Charles Martinet, Samantha Kelly, and myself. Have us out to cut the ribbon or something, and that would have been fantastic. But
you still got 2 parts to go, so
I know. Yeah, maybe they'll get wind of this.
Right. And then did you do any work for Super Nintendo World?
No, I believe they probably used stuff they have.
Okay.
But it's not like Bowser's going to announce or do anything about keep your hands and feet in the in your cart at all times. So,
how would that sound?
It would be.
I don't think anybody will listen. that would be a safety hazard. Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Then people are like, they get their arms and legs out, so because they couldn't understand him.
Yeah,
you'd have to have the text bubble, and then everybody would have to be able to read.
Yeah. That's good, man. I mean, so California, I think they're opening soon. They are already releasing a lot of promotions about their park opening soon. Here, it's still under construction. I'm not sure if they haven't. Yeah, but yeah, are you planning on going to the opening in California?
Oh no, I don't. I live in Texas, so not likely. Probably not going to happen.
Yeah. Unless they fly you over to cut that.
Yeah, right? If they want me to come over, sure, I'll go. But
man,
I mean, I'm just as broke as the next guy. So everybody thinks, oh, you've been the voice of Bowser for 18 years, you must be rich. But you don't get residuals on video games.
Yeah, so. They pay you per job, and that's
just for the recording session.
Yeah. Well, Nintendo, you listening to this? I know you watch this channel.
Yeah, have me over and
hook Bowser up
because they have this huge kind of bronze colored looking Bowser statue with the stairs all around it.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of that and I was like, that is amazing.
We got a picture of Bowser's voice right there in that area there. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'd like to go.
Yeah, I mean,
and I guess probably eventually, you know. I would probably tend to want to go to the one in Orlando just so I could go to the Universal there, which is great.
Yeah.
And Disney World.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we would have to take 2 weeks. I don't think I could afford that.
Well, let me know if you're ever in the area. That way, I can have you. We'll have you for dinner and then have you on a channel in person.
Right. Yeah.
All right, and then the very last question: what are your thoughts about the casting for Bowser in the actual Super Mario movie?
I've been getting that a lot lately too.
Right, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm real curious. You know, I mean, I don't know. I have no details. At all about the script or what they're planning. I have no idea.
Yeah.
And in fact, if it wasn't for, I think it was IMDb Pro, I wouldn't have known about it right away.
Wow.
The casting, but I got a notification, saying that these people are attached, and I was like, really? So
that's exactly everybody said. Like, what?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, Jack Black has so many big fans, he has so many fans that, and people who just love everything that he does. And I would love to meet him. I haven't met, but I would love to meet him because just to see what he really is like in person, and how much of it is persona,
Yeah.
But I wish him luck. I mean, I'm sure that it's going to be written to where Bowser's going to be talking, probably.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why would they have an A-lister come in to do the voice? So.
Yeah. We have
if it was just going to be grumbling and growling and yelling and stuff, they could have just used me.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. What if they use some of what they have for certain parts? That could be a possibility.
Once upon a time, it's probably been. It might have been 3 months ago or something. I got a notification on IMDb Pro that it said that I was attached to the project as additional voices.
Okay.
But now, if you go and you look at it, I'm not listed. It just has the 10 that they announced.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
I mean, they put Charles down as a cameo.
Yeah.
So. Hopefully I'll get a screen credit if for this thing. That would be great.
Yeah,
then I can go. Yeah, I was in it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean that'd be awesome. I think more than fair, right? Because Boys in Bowser for over 18 years.
Yeah.
I think nobody knows Bowser more than Kenny James. So
yeah.
So yeah. All right. Let's get into the second part of this interview, which is what is Bowser thinking, right? And let's ask Kenny James. We're gonna go ahead and ask Kenny James, what is Bowser thinking?
I wear progressive lenses, so I got to put my glasses up high so I can focus on this.
All right, sounds good.
I'm getting old, you know.
No, you look young. You look pretty young. All right, let's go
I have
here.
to tip my head way up.
You see that there?
Yeah.
What is Bowser thinking? And then we're gonna start pretty easy. Pretty easy. All right. First image. This is a Paper Mario Bowser.
Yeah, it looks like he's all like, "I told you, kids, stay off of my lawn."
Right. Perfect. That is perfect.
That's what he looks like he's doing, shaking his fist. Get off of my lawn.
Exactly. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's kind of just reminded me of Nevercracker on Monster House.
Yeah. All right. Very good job on that one. See that it's not that bad, right?
Sure.
All right, next one. Here we have Meowser.
Oh man. All right. If you feed me dry food again, I'm gonna rip your eyes out.
Yeah, it looks like he's giving a bad review at a restaurant. That's good. That's perfect. Let's go for the next one.
Oh man.
That's pouting Bowser.
Yeah. I have to go back to personal experience just recently.
Yeah.
I can't believe they canceled my flight.
They did? You gotta cancel
right after I went through security.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, as I walked out security, I got my phone out of my backpack,
mm-hmm.
and American Airlines notification. Your flight has been canceled.
Oh,
and I was all like, what? But it worked out because I went to the gate, and the lady at the gate,
mm-hmm.
she tickied and
yeah.
And turns out that they put me on standby for a different flight,
uh-huh.
and it was an earlier flight, and I got on the plane. So
that's awesome.
I actually left earlier.
Well, now picturing you as Bowser, just sitting there with your arms crossed. All right,
well, I wasn't a happy camper. Let's put it that way.
Next one.
Stop sneaking up on me. He looks a little surprised in that one.
I didn't realize that Bowser had 2 more spikes on his tails.
Oh yeah. See?
Right there, yeah. 2 more spikes on his tails. I thought the spikes were only on the shell. There you go.
That's okay. I didn't even know this tail moved.
There you go.
Well, see, you learn something new.
Right?
Every single day.
All right, so Bowser doesn't like being sneaked on. And how about now?
Oh, I wish it was a surfboard.
Right?
I much prefer fire to snow. Or lava. I much prefer lava to snow.
Right? Like, he's basically kind of like a, not snowboard, but more like lava.
You need a lava board.
Right? Lava board. There you go.
But don't fall off of it, because then you're dry Bowser. It's terrible.
That's true.
But if it was a surfboard, that would have fit me better. I used to surf. I don't surf anymore. I live in the North Texas, so there's really no surf.
You just mentioned if you fell into the lava as dry Bowser, does that mean that Bowser is immortal?
I don't know. He seemed to survive it.
Right?
Kind of bony, but
yeah. All right, next one.
Who needs an iron throne when you have a spiky throne?
Right. It's like a throwback on the
on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
At first, I was like, "What is that? The Iron Throne?" No, it's not the Iron Throne.
No, it's a Bowser throne.
It's a Bowser throne.
Yeah, spiky throne.
Spiky.
Let's see here.
Spiky throne.
There you go. That's one.
Oh my God! Look how little that camera looks.
Right?
Or that's a phone.
It's a phone. Yeah, it's a phone.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like trying to tap it with his huge finger.
Yeah. Let's see. Wait. Oh no, I'm not going to say that. I almost had something, but now I'm all like, no, I don't want to say that.
You got this. You have it. You got this.
I know. I'm thinking.
It looks like an
I can't believe I've only got 300 followers.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
That's I don't have that many either. So
that's perfect. He's on social media trying to.
I know.
Check his account. I think
That's
there's one more.
Funny because that phone looks so little.
Right, it looks very small. He's actually just holding it just like this.
I know.
Yeah, and then
Not that big.
Here he's just posing.
Meowser again. What is he doing?
Just posing there, just looking like standing, posing.
Yeah, you see me looking through the bottom of my lenses. So.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry. Is that a kitty cat? What is that? Hey, I don't know about that.
I like his red hair. The tip of his hair is like red on the top.
Yeah, but it's got white and red.
Yeah.
Styling instead of just the plain red.
I'm
gonna need a little help with my cat box.
Meowser is actually one of my favorite versions of Bowser.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, it's
for the aforementioned reason. So
yeah, of course. I mean, and even more because of that, But Meowser's always been one of my favorite versions of Bowser, just because it's so unique and so awesome when he comes up in that bridge. The first time he takes that, and I'm like, the first time I saw him, like, what in the world, and then like, wow, this is awesome. And then from then on, and this is the last one right here. I think it's the last one.
That's just plain Fear the Fury.
Yeah. And let me tell you, Bowser's Fury is actually my favorite Mario game.
I really like that. You can get like 11 by 14s of the the inside of the jewel case art.
Yeah.
I've been signing those things and sign them in silver, and it looks fantastic.
Man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the very last one. Check it out. Let's end it on a good note.
Son, I'm sorry to hurt your feelings, but I told you to eat your green beans.
I got this snapshot from the parental controls video that they
Does
showed.
He have? Oh, he's got a controller in his hand, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I didn't see that at first.
Yeah, it looks like he's playing the game.
That's like I told you not to go against me on Rainbow Road.
There you go.
There you go. There's an alternate.
Right? And this also shows the humanity of Bowser. See, looking at his son, like, feel bad about beating him. And that's it. That is the meme challenge from Bowser. And good job. Very good job of all these memes. You're super hilarious and all of them. And very awesome. Let me see here. And you see in the background, we have Bowser also in the background of the screen here.
Yeah, I see that.
So we have Bowser. I got Bowser shirt, Bowser here, Bowser questions. It's all Bowser today. Awesome. And to end this interview, what would you love to tell our viewers and your fans, if you would like to leave them with some advice, message, anything you want to tell them?
Well, I get asked a lot about, how do I become a voice actor?
Yeah.
Practice. Practice. And one of the things that I tell people is read out loud. Anything. Read it out loud. Because you have to read out loud when you're reading scripts.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot different than reading, when you're just reading a book and you're reading in your head. Because in your head, you can make it sound like anything you want. But when you do it out loud, you're limited.
Yeah.
Unless you've got, a bizarre voice. So reading out loud, practicing. Because also, a lot of people don't realize that when you're reading scripts, especially if there's a lot of stuff to read, that you tend to read ahead more. You're saying one thing, but your eyes are a couple of words ahead.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're going back and forth, but you got to read ahead. Otherwise, you sound like you're reading.
Yeah, exactly.
But the other thing that I like to tell people is, like, if you want to be a voice actor, first be an actor.
Yeah, that's
true. So I profess or at least, I don't know about professing, but community theater. I think that's where everybody should go.
Yeah.
If you have the means to go to an acting school or, even just especially an improv class, which I regret that I've never been in an improv class. But I've done during the, 11 or so years that I was in community theater, I did 20 something productions.
Wow.
And you learn how to act or you won't be, cast.
Yeah.
But they always need people in starting positions,
Yeah.
You're a background dude or you have a walk-on or even, moving furniture between acts, you can be backstage and then people are like, directors will be all like, oh yeah, that kid's busting his hump, and then when you come in to audition for something, they're like, hey, I remember you.
Yeah.
And you might have a little better shot,
Yeah, that's actually a good tip. Yeah.
Acting on stage is insanely fun. And if you go, oh no, I'm too shy for that, Oh no. If you think so, then you might not make a great voice actor either, because standing in a booth with people looking at you through the glass, it's just as hard.
That's true.
Sometimes I think it's harder.
Yeah.
Because you can see those people. At least most of the time when you're on stage, you don't see the audience because the lights are so bright. But that's one of the things I would leave people with is do community theater and get a demo made if you want to do acting, voice acting, but try to find somebody reputable. You got to do your research, man. It's just like everything else.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people out there that are like, I'm an excellent voice coach, and they're just hacks.
Yeah.
They just want your money.
Yeah.
Research.
That is awesome, man. And it's true. I mean, community theater, that's an amazing way, because once you kind of come out there, then when you're in the booth, just like Kenny said, you have to act there as well. You have to make it believable.
Yeah. I mean, you can't read something, a script, and just sound like you're reading. I'm looking around for something to read. I don't have anything here to read. But it's the difference of going, I am reading this to you because you said so. The difference is going more like, I'm reading this to you because you said so.
Yeah, that's true. That's
true. It's a difference. It's a huge difference.
Exactly.
So that's why reading out loud is really good practice. Tape yourself. Everybody's got a recorder in their hand now. Yeah. So get a hold of scripts. You can find scripts on the internet, like lots of different copy. Yeah. And find commercial scripts if that's what you want to do. Find animation things, you can find this stuff, and then tape yourself reading it and acting it, and then listen back to it and go, I think I could have done that better. Yeah. I'm real bad about that. I'll record auditions, and if I don't stop myself, I'll do it forever because I just don't think it's good enough. Yeah. So eventually you just have to set it and forget it. That's it. Mr. Popeil.
That is super awesome advice. Very last question, and you don't have to. Okay. You don't have to directly respond to this one, because I know that you there's a confidential.
You mean like an NDA?
You can't say it. Yeah, there we go. That. But I'm not gonna say. Have you worked on anything lately or recently that you can't talk about? No.
That's really funny, because if I couldn't talk about it, then I wouldn't be able to tell you that I worked on it.
Right?
Yeah, because a non-disclosure agreement means exactly that. Exactly. Non-disclosure.
You can't even say that you're working.
But no. I'm the only thing I'm doing right now is plenty of anime.
Okay.
Actually, I have a session coming up Monday for 2 shows that I'm on.
Awesome.
Yeah, I do lots of One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm in the process of 2 newer shows that just started up. The Heiki story.
Yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce it. And My Senpai is Annoying. Which is actually a really cutesy wootsy show, and I think that it's going to spawn plenty of little girls cosplay for this main character.
That's awesome.
So that'll be cool. But I'm not one of the leads, but I do have a recurring character on both of those shows.
That's awesome. And are those translations coming to the US?
Yeah, we're dubbing them right now.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Like I said, lots of One Piece. Recently, we just did the Zoe arc in One Piece, which is this country on the back of this enormous, elephant, and all of the people that live in that country are anthropomorphic animals. So I play this goat named Miyagi. He's also a doctor, so he was working closely with Tony Chopper. So I was thrilled.
Yeah,
and I've never even met Brina, who voices Chopper.
Yeah.
But I was in the studio going, all right, I get to act with Chopper. This is so cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hopefully you get to go to conventions soon for your work.
Yeah, I mean, I did an episode of Fire Force that got to actually be on Toonami and Cautious Hero. I did a couple of 3 episodes of that. That was one of the first ones I did.
Yeah.
And the director was like, do something Bowsery. And I was like, I can't get too Bowsery because I don't want to step on any toes.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, give me something, gruff and, in Bowser vein, Well, what I wound up doing is a voice that is very rough sounding, but is actually very lilty.
Okay.
And so this shopkeeper offering the hero some greater medicinal herbs, which to me was hilarious because I had just moved from Washington State.
Yeah.
And but his voice, instead of being all Bowsery, like, it was more like, hey, you want to buy some of my greater medicinal herbs? They're 3 times more powerful than the regular kind.
That sounds awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, it was that was fun. And I know Jeremy Inman cast me for that. This character had on this metal helmet, kind of just goes across the middle of his head.
Yeah.
But it had a mohawk and little horns on it. And I was like, really? I mean, who else has a mohawk and horns?
Yeah, Bowser.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Typecast already.
Right? But I mean, that's awesome. You're branching out, and I can't wait to see those projects. I'm going to go ahead and try and see if I can catch one of those and cover it here in the channel. To go ahead and see if I can get our subscribers hooked on it.
Yeah. I mean, they're putting me in all kinds of things. I mean, I was basically doing 3 different shows with recurring character. Well, I hope that the 3rd one that it recurs.
Yeah.
But I had a recording session last week that I did 3 different shows.
That's
and
awesome.
I was like, I'm not gonna be able to keep the voices straight.
Right.
After a while, I'm gonna be like, could you guys give me a reference so I can hear what I sounded like?
Yeah.
After a while, you start forgetting who is which.
Yeah. I mean, is that when you're doing? Did you do them the same day?
Yeah.
That's
During the same session. It was like,
oh wow, okay. Yeah.
It's like a 1-hour session broken up into parts. 15 minutes for one show, 15 minutes for another show, half an hour for the other show. So it's like, oh man. So
that's awesome. Well, you're getting out there. Hopefully, we'll get to hear you in one of these new episodes and stuff like that. So thank you so much for coming over to Nintendo Academy. Hey, this is your casa. This is your house. You're welcome anytime. If you ever need to come over, promote anything, Nintendo Academy is your home. Just send me an email and I'll bring you over. As well as Samantha, and also thanks to CelebWorks for hooking up this interview.
as well.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. Thank you so much for being with us.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
That's fun.
it is awesome. So, guys, Kenny James, the voice of Bowser. Hope you guys loved this interview. And if you love Kenny James and want him back, leave it down below in the comments. All right, guys, that's it for this video. See you in the next one. I'm Mike Perez, and this is Kenny James, the voice of Bowser for the Super Mario Nintendo games.